Yo, Longhairs, welcome to Let It Ride. This is episode 87. Shout out Jordy Nelson. We're at the Longhairs global headquarters in San Diego. He is El Moreno.
Yeah. What's up? The Zoom camera takes a little while.
I'm El Rubio, as you know. Today's guest is the founder and CEO of Yes Cacao, a chocolate company that makes botanical chocolate from organic, raw, wild harvested cacao. It's a chocolate delivery system, if you will, and they're hitting chocolate bombs in the e-commerce world, having a great deal of success in a historically saturated industry. He also has amazing flow, which we all appreciate around here. He's a big-time hair guy. He lives a yes philosophy, and he is, in fact, a high school classmate of yours truly, Fremont High, class of 2000. He's the chocolate man with the chocolate mane, Justin Polgar.
Yes.
Justin, welcome to Let It Ride, man.
Can I get you to put that as like my alarm clock in the morning?
Yes.
I know there's a way to do that.
Oh, yeah, dude. We'll get you a little quick clip of that. Not a bad thing to wake up to.
The nice subtle start, right? Into the bang at the end.
That's good. I have an organic alarm clock. It's called my son, who's almost 2 years old.
Yes.
I know
That's
about
good.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, we're pumped to have you on the show. First-time guest. I think the last time we saw each other was our 10-year high school reunion. It was a little ways back, but we'll come back around to that. Why don't we start off by telling us just a little bit about Yes Cacao. I gave just a little intro there, botanical chocolate, but what do you guys do? What is a chocolate delivery system? Just tell us about your company.
That's so good. Thank you for the intro, and thanks for the invitation, because I love talking about chocolate. I'll talk about chocolate this whole time. I'll do it, especially with this chocolate mane, which I didn't even know I had a chocolate mane until you called it out. I'd say roughly 11 years ago, I started making chocolate. I didn't know you could make chocolate, like your own homemade chocolate. Like you could melt chocolate from like Michael's art supply store, but like to actually make it kind of more and more from scratch, I didn't know you could do that. When I found out you could do it, and that it was easier than I thought, I was like, I'm going to do this every day. I want to eat chocolate every day. And so for about 11 years, I've been eating about a half a pound of chocolate a day, which feels good. Feels really good. And around that time, I was also just, as a hobby, I was studying herbs, teas, flowers, different pharmacopoeias. I was working at Chinese medicine school down in Los Angeles because I did a little 5-year stint in the Southlands. And I hear the doctors talk all the time about how their clients don't take their herbs. And I hear this with naturopaths and a lot of people that prescribe herbs, because herbs don't taste good usually, or you got to like wolf down all these pills. And I had learned through researching chocolate that chocolate's a vasodilator, meaning that it opens your blood vessels. So I was like, wait a second. If I can put the herbs and the botanicals in the chocolate, I can get people to eat their herbs. Why isn't anyone doing this? And I look back, this is how chocolate was done indigenously. It's been done like that way longer, like thousands of years longer than it's been done as just like a sweet treat dessert. So I started putting the combinations together, playing with different formulas from what I'd studied and learning from different teachers.
Yeah.
Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Taoist medicine. And I started doing custom batches for people. So I'd go, yo, El Rubio, what's going on your next couple of months? And you'd say, oh, I'm writing a book, or I'm training for a triathlon, or I'm going to give a TED talk, or, whatever the case, or I have some digestive issue that I went to the doctor, they can't do anything about it. And I would make you a custom batch of chocolate where you'd eat a bar every day for like 20 or 30 days. And it was wild because it was really working. It was like the first girl that I made a chocolate for, and I'm going to get real on this one. She hadn't had an unassisted bowel movement in 6 years, meaning that she had to have over-the-counter laxatives or different things prescribed to her. That's a painful situation. And so she hit me up, and I was like, well, what do we have to lose here? Let's go for it. And she actually had been prescribed all these laxatives. And I was like, nah, this is not the issue. There's something deeper. And I said, what's your relationship like with your parents? And she said, oh, my parents are really strict. And I heard that and I was like, oh, your bloodline, your parents are strict. They're constricted. Your bloodline is constricted. You're not getting the nutrients to stimulate your peristalsis. I'm going to make you a blood cleansing chocolate. And in like 4 days, no problems anymore.
What?
Yeah. I was like, wow, chocolate. Who knew? So I've just been riding on that. And, we switched over to, I say we, really it's me. I'm like a one-man show.
Okay.
I make the chocolate, I package it, I send it. I've started to bring on some different contractors to do our marketing because that's a lot of work to be an entrepreneur, as you guys know. And so we honed it down to like 3 like out of the park flavors. One that was for endurance, like your body, one that's for your mind for short-term memory, and then one for your nervous system to just bliss out and chill out. And yes, it's a long ride. I'm sure some stories will come out of it, but I'm just stoked that I'm still able to make chocolate for a living.
Amazing.
So those are your 3 that maybe most commonly people could gravitate towards is endurance and mental short-term
brain power,
memory. And then all I heard was eternal bliss was the last one. What?
Yeah, that's all you really need to know. Bliss out. Yeah, the bliss out bar, the brain system. Power, and then the endurance bar.
Okay, but people think of chocolate, and I can't say I'm a subject expert, but it's a sweet. You want to have it sparingly.
Right.
Most people, you say you eat a half a pound of chocolate a day, they're gonna say, "Wow, this doesn't sound like a healthy diet." How, or is it have the same effects from the negative standpoint as how we think of chocolate?
No, not all chocolate is created equally, and essentially, I mean, here's some like down the line facts here. For one, over 99% of chocolate is sprayed with some type of pesticide or herbicide because chocolate is the chocolate growing, the trees, the cacao trees attract a lot of quote unquote pests, especially when you're monocropping it, when they're just putting them in a line. We only source wild harvested cacao. So that means there's no farms, there's no farmers, there's no plantations. We work with a team of 450 wild harvesters that go into the jungle in Ecuador and harvest from these trees that are sometimes 40, 50, 60-year-old trees that are still just giving these super mature, really flavorful beans. It's a lot more work than just going down the line on a farm. But when you're sourcing like that, the minerals, the enzymes, the magic of the location, all that magic in the soil, like when I go down there, it is a cacophony. I mean, the sound of all the insects and the birds and the frogs, it's, you're in nature, you think quiet, but it's so loud.
Yeah.
It's a mosh pit in there. And so I'm sourcing the cleanest chocolate in the world. There's no sprays, there's no human intervention.
Wow.
Nature's an amazing farmer. Nature just resolves things. When there's a problem, if there's something happening, it needs to make a solution, otherwise it dies. So there's constant evolution. It's also like the most up-to-date chocolate if you were thinking about like a software or something. Then the sugar is a big part of it, and usually the least healthy part of a chocolate that you buy on the shelf. So 99% of chocolate is sprayed, and chocolate's also the second highest sprayed agricultural product in the world.
Oh wow,
which is fucked up.
Yeah,
I don't know if we can say fucked up on the show, but
it's fine.
I think I've heard some episodes where we throw down. So it's just frustrating because you're just getting all this extra residue that your body doesn't really know what to do with, so it just stores. And then you got the sugar piece. So we store sugar at this high elevation farm where instead of having it all packed together in these plantations where there's just fertilizer in the soil and pesticides and all this other bullshit, this is grown in its natural density. It's hand-picked, hand-pressed, and then it's sun-dried instead of cooking it dry. So I give it to people on keto diets. I give it to diabetics. I give it to people with no blood sugar spikes. So it's just about bringing the right things together. And then, the Bliss Out bar has 18% of the bar is botanicals. That's the lowest. And then it goes to 20 for the endurance, and then 36% of the brain power bar is botanical ingredients. So we're really just putting in a bunch of other super healthy stuff. So I wouldn't recommend, I actually definitely do not recommend eating normal chocolate at the rate that I do. But like I've just drank water and eaten chocolate since 9:30 this morning, and I'm cruising.
Okay, I got to go into like the sourcing a little bit. I have some questions there because I mean, I just know what it took for us to like figure out how to manufacture the products that we're doing, and it took years, and I feel like with yours, it's a whole nother level of complexity, searching out this jungle and these people and everybody, and how are they going to work with it. And I mean, how did you even like start that journey? That's like a global journey. And then what is it? Like, what is your team over there? They're pulling it off the trees and harvesting it. And then what are they sending to you? Like, what do you get?
Yeah, cool. Good questions. Yeah, I think it was kind of dumb luck in a way.
Really?
I mean, I was living in Los Angeles. I was doing like a raw vegan diet, which was like basically this cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
I did for almost 2 years. And then I went into, I kind of like went in and out of doing some different things. And it felt really good. So I kept doing it, but I was not grounded at all.
Okay.
Like I couldn't make anything happen. I could just have a good time.
Yeah.
And I was kind of at this point where I was like, I need, I was doing like 2 hours of Qigong every day. Felt really good, but I needed to just change things up. And I had a friend who was importing superfoods, cacao, all kinds of cool stuff, mostly from South America. And he was really frustrated because he would order stuff on pallets. We'd go down there, he'd come back, he'd order something that was organic. He'd test it when it got here, and it just had all this said stuff in it, like a lot of stuff, or metals in it and stuff like that. So he sold his company and moved down there and built out the ideal scenario for how he would want to put chocolate into his body.
Okay.
He has the highest standards of anybody that I've ever encountered. He's a trip. He's a trip. Robert is a trip. And I think just, by virtue of like, how does business really move? It's all relationships.
Yeah.
So having that relationship, he's connected me with a bunch of different sources down there. Through him, I get the sugar. Through him, I also get the cacao. And he has a whole team that he's managing down there. And then for the other stuff, you gotta try, I order a bunch of samples. I talk to the people. Sometimes I'll source something for like 2 years and it's awesome. And then because of the relationship I have with the salesperson or the owner of the company, if it's a small company, they'll tell me, oh, we changed up this, or, this thing happened and we had to change suppliers. And sometimes it's shitty. And I'm like,
yeah.
Let me know when you guys come back around and I have, option A, B, C, D.
All right.
It's a little bit of a matrix.
Yeah. Okay, dude.
Hope that answers.
Awesome. Yeah, it totally does. The second part of that is like, what is your actual
delivery? Like
delivery? What's it? Is it already processed, or you're processing it, or what?
Yeah. So I've gotten it a few different ways, and because it's wild harvested, there's basically the best way is he'll process the beans into like a cacao liqueur. So it's just 100% cacao. Comes in these, basically it's like if you had melted chocolate and laid it out on these large pans and then broke it up.
Okay.
And so I'll get it like that. I've gotten it with just the beans before, but I think for having a CPG product and for wanting to deliver some sense of regularity, something that people can expect, each tree is really different. So I leave it up to him to blend the different beans together.
Okay.
To get that like, there's like a certain flavor range where you're like, yeah, this is it. This chocolate can be nutty, it can be fruity, it can be kind of dank and earthy, it can be kind of mushroomy, which you don't really want that. So the part of it is it's a trust thing, and I've gotten some that I like more than others. But when I put the other herbs in it, I can usually tweak the flavor so that it's. I want to make a flavor journey for you.
Yeah.
Lindsay, I want you to have a flavor journey. Not just, I'm not trying to dumb down your palate and be like, oh, sweet is good, yummy. It's like, whoa, man, what is that? Like a peppermint? Oh, there's like a fennel in there. Like, oh, there's like a hazelnut. What is that? And you just kind of follow it through.
Yeah.
Leave the fennel out of mine, please. But so how do you make it once you get there? Right before the show started, you were turning off some machinery, grinding and what have you in the background. Once you get the raw cacao, what do you do with it at that point? And how much, like, how big is your space, or how many machines, like, and how did you get all that stuff?
Yeah, that's it's been a journey of having equipment and then not having equipment and then trying to outsource it and then running into issues and then, you know, having the co-packer kind of mess up, not kind of, but like, you know, losing like 25 grand on something. And it's like, oh, how do I recover from this? And then having to get super creative and then bringing it all in house. So like right now, basically around the middle of last year, or actually maybe the middle of the fall of last year, I was just like, I need to go back to my basics. I need to like bring it back in. The joy that I get from being in the making process, I'm feeling disconnected from that. So right now I'll get the cacao delivered here. I'm in Santa Cruz, just up the coast a little bit. Get the cacao, I melt it down, and then I put it in the stone grinder. So I have 3 stone grinders, just kind of small ones right now. You know, I can process like 100 bars at a time in each one. The larger units you can do much more. Like, I don't know, I probably put like 7 or 8 pounds, maybe 10 pounds at a time. And yeah, but 8 pounds at a time. And the larger units, which actually I partially own 5 units that can do 150 pounds at a time, but they're on the East Coast right now. And I'm not really sure how, like, I'm just looking for a place to put them so I can start maybe utilizing them. Anyways, I melt it down, I put it in the grinder. It's about a 72-hour grinding process. So these things are just spinning and spinning stone on stone and getting the particle size of the chocolate down. And then you add the sugar, add the different herbs. And basically the idea is I want your palate to have like a nice mouth feel. So that's about getting all little particle sizes down to about the same size, about 20, 22 microns, which you can do a little micrometer thing. And I just do it by taste mostly. You could just feel if it's silky on your tongue. You want me to say that again? Because we're in an audio. When it's silky on your tongue, you know it's ready.
That's when you know.
Yeah, so it's like a 72-hour process of grinding, and then I put it into a tempering machine that'll raise the temperature and then drop it really fast. And that's what gives and then brings it right back up. So it goes from like 115 down to 80, then back up to about 86, 87. And that's what gives chocolate its snap. So basically the fat crystals expand when it's hot. And then when it gets cool, they all lock together, kind of like the Olympic rings. They just like really lock into place.
Yeah.
And then you just know that, like when you have a super shiny
look at that
situation
that
there,
great.
And then it's gotta have that snap.
Yeah. And then you have little molds those go into. That's how you get your.
Yeah, just pour them in. Actually, right now, I just break a lot of things. I break things. I use like a waffle pancake dispenser. It's like a pancake dispenser.
Mm-hmm.
I go through one every like 6 or 7 weeks because they just break on me. But I just load the chocolate on the top and then pour it into molds, and I have it on a little scale. It's nice. like being a really high-end drug dealer.
Yeah,
dude, that's a process.
Yeah,
and then I gotta wrap it.
Yeah, and the wrap.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple questions about the product itself. So, you know, you talk about it being a delivery system, which when I first saw this, it's kind of like, wow, this is like being sold kind of like as a supplement, you know? So is it, you know, is this something that if I took, I'm going to feel like a difference right away? Or is this something I need to be on for, you know, like a month and tie it into my fitness and other things that I'm doing? You know, how do I know it's actually delivering? How the system is delivering?
That's the thing, right? That's the thing with so many supplements out there.
Yeah.
Like people know that turmeric is good for them, right? They're like, oh yeah, it's an anti-inflammatory. It's good for you. Mm-hmm. But can you actually feel the pressure in your body release?
Yeah.
That's how I know if something's working for me. And I want to have that feeling. I want to know that I'm eating something and then I'm like a coffee, for example, or a glass of wine, right?
Yeah,
like
totally.
You know it's working.
Or some weed, for example.
Or some weed, right? Exactly. That's really easy to know if it's working.
Yeah.
Really easy. Which I did actually build out a cannabis chocolate facility in Oakland a couple of years ago, and was doing that was like a whole other thing, which was awesome. Great learning experience. But for me, it was just like, it was like another ingredient. So knowing how to put exact, like to the milligrams to get it so that every single bar was like spot on. I didn't let anything out of the facility that was more than 3% above or below, or the California, I think the law is like within 15%.
Okay.
Which is kind of a lot for THC. Just saying.
Yeah, totally.
Just saying. That could be the difference in a hangover or a hang under. Maybe. So wait, what was the question again? How do you know it's working?
Like, should you expect a feeling right away, or is it, multiple uses over time? That's where you're going to kind of start understanding the benefits.
It's both. It's both, actually. So like this is my favorite example. So my dad, who, was an accountant for his whole career, not super sensitive in his body. He works out, but he's not like a healthy eater necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, maybe like on the spectrum of healthy, it's probably healthier, but like go to Arby's with his friends and
middle range kind of health guy.
Middle range health, not extreme. Anyways, when I started this, he was kind of like, I'm happy that you're doing this, but like, can you just get a real job? You just get a real job.
Sure.
Because being an entrepreneur is not like, I'm like first generation entrepreneur in my family, but it's just the way I am. I'm really not good at being an employee because I overperform. That's basically the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I give him chocolate, and I could tell he wouldn't eat it, or he'd try just a little bit or something. He's like, okay, that's nice. And one day I'd given him some to have on his desk. He was having a stressful day. It was afternoon. He needed some energy. He ate the Bliss Out bar. I was like, just eat a whole bar. See how it feels. And he calls me. He's like, Justin, these really work. I mean, I feel really good. And I was like, wow, that's epic. It's cool that my dad kind of had that experience. Yeah. And that changed his like get a real job to like, let's make this thing happen.
Yeah, you got something here.
Yeah. And then I also have written on the top of the bar, on the top of the box here, benefits are cumulative with regular use.
Okay.
So it's a both and. Like, you should feel it immediately. And the more you enjoy it, you become kind of more, your body learns it.
Right.
Like, for example, with the brain power bar, I feel like my mind has learned how to use the functionality of it. Mm-hmm. So like the deal with that one, it's got turmeric, bacopa, lion's mane mushroom, ginkgo, pine pollen, all these things that open the flow of blood and oxygen to the part of your brain that does short-term memory. So you got your dendrites, and it's repolishing the surface of the dendrites, like regenerating tissue. Wow. And then it's strengthening the nerve synapse. And when you start doing that over and over, like your brain learns. So it's a both and. I just want to deliver. I want to deliver.
Dude,
I want you to have that experience.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. I want to try this.
Pumped, man. Get me on the subscription.
Sure. Yeah.
You know which one I thought you guys would be really into is the endurance one. Now, I know you say you're not into fennel. It's very subtle. The reason I use fennel is because the very last taste of fennel is kind of sweet. So you can actually drop the sugar down a little bit because the natural herbal flavor will kind of end on a sweeter note. But that one is the endurance bar, and it's all about like feeling in your body. And I use this, it's like a super legendary mineral pitch. It's called Shilajit. It's like 50 million year old dirt that oozes out of the rocks of the Himalayas in this like black tar. And the way we found it, legend has it, is that apes, gorillas, monkeys, I'm just going to go with monkeys, general catch-all. I'm not recalling at the moment, but basically monkeys would go and they would eat it, and then they would have these feats of strength and like fighting and mating. It was like Burning Man in the Himalayas for monkeys or something like that. And when people started seeing what's this black tar that these these monkeys are putting on and eating, they realized it's got like 85 minerals, fulvic and humic acid, and it actually pulls toxins out of your body, like out of your lymph system and your fat cells, and it allows you to utilize your body much more efficiently and get way more energy. So like a lot of bodybuilders in like the Caucasus Mountain regions like Russia, Estonia, use something really similar. They call it mumia there, but it's real deal. Like, a tenth of a gram, or even like, I mean, if you had like 3 grams and you go and work out, you feel, it feels, you're like, I'm an animal. I can fucking do this.
No
It's
way.
pretty amazing. So I put that in the chocolate because I was like, the descriptor is conqueror of mountains, destroyer of weakness. I was like, that's
Great.
a yes for me. That's a yes for me.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I did sign you up,
dude. I can't. I'm stoked. I can't wait to the short-term memory one and throw some bliss in there too. Like, shoot, man. Do you do all 3 at once? Do you call it do it? Or do you say
I
eat
do
it?
it.
Like, do you do cacao?
Yeah. Hey, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? It's yeah, I'll stack them. I just go with whatever I'm feeling like. Just depends. Certain days I just definitely need more. If I'm sitting at my desk for the majority of the day, then I don't really need to have like an endurance situation. But like I need my mind to be working. So like that's the thing. And I actually, my neighbors here, they have a shop here in Santa Cruz, which I was going to open the shop like for retail in March, but something happened. I forgot what happened.
Right.
Something happened. It changed things a little bit. But my neighbor is a coffee roaster. It's like my favorite coffee. It's called the 11th Hour, which is also a great name for a coffee shop. And they're killing it over there. And there are definitely times where I'm like, I need a coffee. I need that caffeine thing.
Little
But
burst.
sometimes like I want to move my body when I have caffeine in my body.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need my mind to work better. I need my body to be relaxed. And getting that combination, you kind of do like the bliss out and the brain power, and it's just this nice kind of middle range.
Ooh, yeah. Mixing, if you will.
Yeah.
Dude,
I say plays well with others.
Okay.
Dude, nice. So you somehow figured out how to make chocolate and get the cacao from Ecuador and use equipment and put ingredients together and then package it. And then you have to also sell it, actually. So you got website. Did you figure all this out? Your site is great. I'm on it right now. It's yescacao.com. You're on Shopify here. You got some nice stuff, just going through all the pages, well put together. You got some marketing power here, some online presence. How did you learn how to did you figure all this stuff out also?
I mean, I don't know if I could say I figured it out. I mean, I'm figuring it out a little bit as I go. Actually, I think for a lot of the listeners here, by the time you listen to this, our new website will be live, which the one that you're looking at now, I just did.
It's going live tomorrow, dude. You better hustle.
Okay. Okay. Well, just subscribe when you get there. And then the next time you come to the website, I use what works on me. I kind of I do that a lot, so like I respond to, like when there's a pop-up that says 20% off your first order, I'm pretty likely to order, or like within, or if I get like a reminder email, on like the Klaviyo flows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I did leave that in the cart. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. So I've just learned little by little. I did a Kickstarter, much like you guys. In 2015, I did a Kickstarter, and I had a guy who was a friend of mine who was going to do like the videography for it, and I like had this whole thing, puzzle pieced out. And then he pieced out like a few days before we were going to start filming. Like he had some job in Florida. He's like, I got to take this. And I was like, you got to do you, follow your yes, all good. Shit. So I just went and got, I used it as an excuse to upgrade my phone to get a better camera. I filmed the whole thing on my iPhone. I launched it and then just hustled hard hustle, like 20-hour days. We hit our goal. I think we raised like $42,000, which is pretty impressive.
Dang.
I was like, wow, we really did that. I guess we really did that. And just learning by trial and error. That's kind of the way. And I've been getting better at giving it to people who are really good and really like what they do. So that's all. We're in a nice transition now. Like even like our packaging, which this is going to launch with the new website too. So we got these new packages with that little like shimmer on the yes. And it's actually a door with like this whole information panel, and you could see the chocolate. So I got, it's like finding people who are really good at what they do and who love what they do, and then figuring out how to pay them to make it so that I don't have to do it.
Yeah. A lot of chocolate going out on payroll.
So yeah, there's definitely, I have chocolate trades all over town. Like chiropractor, and I've done chocolate trades for all kinds of stuff.
Oh, nice.
Got your own currency going. Local
used to be currency. A currency. Cacao beans used to be a currency back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, there's all kinds of interesting uses, like historical uses. Even like there's this toothpaste called Theodent that I met this guy who's like, it's chocolate toothpaste. Theo, as in short for Theobroma. And the Latin for cacao is, or for chocolate is Theobroma cacao, which is literally food of the gods.
Oh, wow.
Which also I'm like, okay, I'm a pretty religious person, I guess. I'm doing my tithing. I'm doing all these things. Yeah. Also, one of the reasons why I do a half a pound a day is because in a 365 day period, that's about eating my body weight in chocolate. Wow. And that feels like that's a good offering to the cacao spirits. Yeah, that's the goods.
Dude, so okay.
A second ago.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. There's so much history there.
Toothpaste.
You can go on. Yeah, and the toothpaste thing, I would love to try that. Where do you get chocolate?
I think you can just get it online. There's some specialty stores here and there. Okay. It's expensive. It's like $12 or $15 a tube. It comes in this like very sexy with like a gold cap. It's like
okay, yeah.
It's the kind of thing like Lux. You want people to see. You leave it out, in the bathroom, and you're like, yes, this is the toothpaste that I use. But it's actually, there's properties in cacao that used to be used for building enamel, and they used to use it in like Mesoamerican dentistry to set teeth. They used to use jade. He had this awesome story because he had been studying at this Mesoamerican history museum, and they would put jade teeth instead of gold teeth. They would use gold to set it also. It was like a combination of jade, and they would dip the jade in gold or something, and because jade is a really hard stone. And then the cacao or whatever part of the cacao would help it set in there. Mind-blowing. The things that they figure out. I mean, I'm just amazed that we figured out how to do chocolate in the first place, because when you pick it out of the pod, you got to ferment it for like 3 to 5 days. Otherwise, it's super acrid. And then the pulp around the cacao pods is this like white, fleshy stuff that tastes like a pina colada soursop. I mean, it's like super delicious tropical fruit.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know how we got to the chocolate when the pulp is so good. So
Dang. Good. It's fascinating. Now, one thing I got to ask about your operation, us being an e-commerce business too, we ship out hundreds of packages a day. How are you shipping chocolate? Does it melt? Or do people get it? Or like, hey, mine melted. What's, I got the whole slop here. What's going on?
It's happened.
Okay.
It's happened, and it's a bad feeling for me.
Okay, I'm sure.
So I've dialed it in. I just had a customer send me a review. He's in Phoenix, 110 degrees.
Okay.
So like I got a whole protocol. Like once summer hits, because basically from May through September, it's just hot. So many places it's hot.
Yeah.
Even places you wouldn't think it's hot. It's hot. So I sent him chocolate. He had like 18 bar pack. I'm like, okay. It's like, it's a considerable amount of chocolate I'm sending. Once it leaves the door, I'm out of control here.
Yeah.
But I have like these insulated mailers with ice packs. And he's like, I can't believe that. This is amazing. It was 110 degrees. The chocolate it's perfect.
No way.
So there's ways. I mean, there's tools. I wish there were things that were like a little bit better environmentally, because some of them are like kind of intense.
Sure.
Cool to reuse the packages, but some of them are not really made for that. So I know that the technology wise, packaging is usually the slowest to evolve.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of stay tuned with that.
And are you using USPS or UPS or what? Who do you ship
I use
with?
a combination. Most everything goes priority 2 to 3 day.
Okay.
Most everything. When we were doing more wholesale to stores, we were in about 160 stores for maybe like 3 years. And it was just a lot of running around for me. And it was great to get the revenue stream, but for the amount of work and then the margins, it was just like, it was a lot of running around. And then I started a family. And I'm like, what's the point of being an entrepreneur if I can't actually enjoy the time?
Right.
Yeah. I'm not a slave to my boss, but I become a slave to my business. This is not actually what I want to do. So in the middle of last year, like in fall, I just cut I just made it exclusively e-commerce.
Awesome.
And brought it all in. And that's been amazing. That's been amazing.
It's probably perfect timing too with the event in March.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of those things where I was like, wow, I listened to my intuition.
Yeah.
Actually, I did in the beginning of the year, the first 10 days of 2020, I did a 10-day fast, which is cool, man. I got really high. On that fast because once you're just drinking water, and then I kind of like add in, some like teas and some bone broth and then some coconut water.
Okay.
And I was on one super clear, and it just cemented a lot of the trajectory that I thought like, oh, we should do e-commerce or we should do this. Yeah. It was like, no, this is what you got to do. This is the order. Boom, boom, boom. And I've just been following through on that.
Damn,
like a dancing arrow.
Dude, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Well, dude, tell us the hair story. How do you come to have some flow like that? Magnificent chocolate mane. And why did
you can literally eat it?
As much chocolate as in your diet, maybe. You had long hair previously, right? This is not your first venture into the.
I've had a few.
Okay, so what's the hair deal, man?
I think it's really important, and this is a good thing for all of the bros that are in the awkward phase now because of where we are in the timing of things.
There are many.
I know when you the last episode or a couple episodes back with that rockin' musician, what was that guy's name?
Yeah, Sergio.
Yeah,
Sergio. Oh man, those are some good. That was good. I was just jamming out to that. I had it playing while I was making chocolate, and I was like doing my little dance. It was good. For all you bros that are in the awkward phase, you got to have something you're shooting towards. Like there's got to be something that you're. I mean, for me, the first time I grew my hair out was probably I was like 19. Yeah, I was like 18, 19. Like I like grew it to shoulder length at least. I knew I was going to Hawaii in like 8 months, and I wanted to be able to whip it out of the water. Yeah. I wanted that. I was like, I think I should have this experience. That was the first time I did it. And then I've done a bunch of different, like just set a goal and then do it. I was growing my hair, whatever. Just, I mean, at that point it was just for fun. I was living in Topanga Canyon in LA. And it just seemed like I was in a hippie enclave. I should have long hair. Pretty much. And I grew that until my cousin, who was just made it through a bunch of chemo. I was talking with her, and she's always like, "Cut your hair, Justin. You need to be more clean cut. You're being a businessman here." And I was like, "No, go." I'd always just kind of brush it off. And then one day she said it, and I was just like, "Why don't you just cut it right now?" And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll film it. It's good." So it was like I was maybe foreshadowing the great cut at some moment, but I basically just braided it up really tight and had her just cut it across. We did like a slow-mo on the camera. She's just freaking out because it was like I let her do it. And then we donated the hair. And my mom actually, because my two little brothers had also had long hair at different periods of time. I think when you had like the genetics of whatever's going on in my family and these like chocolate locks.
Yeah.
Like my brothers both just
with the curls,
long hair.
Yeah.
So we've always just grown, and right now this time, I made a deal with my son when he was born. I was like, "Listen, buddy, because I know you totally understand what's going on right now. You and I are going to grow our hair out for 3 years, because this very like little boys with long hair, they're so boss. I love it.
Yeah.
And like they're kind of androgynous in this, like, you know, so many people are like, oh, your girl's so cute. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
he's really cute. He is
Yeah.
really cute.
Yeah.
But so now he and I are growing it, and it's fun. It's a nice ritual for us to have together. Like, you know, he's got his comb thing down. He's got like a mini comb, and I got a big comb. It's fun. It's like dad and son stuff.
Dude, that's rad. That's great, man.
And I think also having a bunch of minerals in the chocolate and in your diet in general, really good for hair. Really good.
Yeah. Oh,
Drinking
yeah.
lots of water, a lot of minerals. MSM. I've noticed that MSM, which is a supplement, it's really good for cartilage, hair, skin, nails, that kind of thing. That was probably the fastest my hair was growing, was when I was doing like a scoop of MSM and lemon in the morning. It really gets things moving though. So easy. Don't scoop too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going pretty good. I still have another year. I got another year.
Okay.
And
so wait,
like
why the
2
3
months
year?
or so.
Why the 3 year? What's significant about 3 years?
I'm like underlining the cacao right there. I should just do that. So actually, in the Jewish tradition, actually in like the Orthodox Jewish tradition, you know how they have the little kids with the little payas?
Yeah.
So the way that starts typically is you don't cut the boy's hair for 3 years, and then you have a ritual on their 3-year birthday, and then you cut everything except for the little locks.
Okay.
So I like to take traditions and then kind of twist them a little bit, or like, you know, put a little spin, something that works well. So I don't think we're going to be leaving those, or if we do, we'll do it for like a week or something.
Yeah.
Who knows what. I had a really fun, can I tell a funny hair cutting story?
Yeah, please.
I had so my college roommate, he had long hair. He was a surfer dude from Ojai. He was totally got the dude thing going on. And he was really into his hair. And I had like a buzz cut, or like short hair at that time. And he was complaining one day, we were like working out, and he was complaining about how the water's really cold and he won't go in with a wetsuit. And I was like, oh, you're a wimp, dude. It's like, man up a little bit. It's just water. Like, you say you love surfing. I don't believe you. You know, I was kind of giving him a hard time. And he's like, you couldn't do it. I was like, yeah, I could. I'd go in the water for an hour, no problem. So then we bet a 6-pack, and then we were supposed to do it this day, and he backed out. And I was like, dude, what is that? Either give me a 6-pack or we need to up the stakes. And I was like, I'll tell you what, if I can do an hour and 15 minutes, I get to shave your head.
No wetsuit is the deal.
Yeah, no wetsuit. And this is like early April, end of March or something in Santa Cruz.
Okay. Yeah,
like
that's
in
chilly.
the 50s. It's
cool.
Not warm water.
Not warm water. We wouldn't call it warm water. But I like extreme experiences. You know, I like pushing myself. So I went out there. He agreed to it. I forget what he was going to get. Something like dinner and a 6-pack. I was going to have to like scoop out something. I didn't even know what, but it didn't matter to me because he wasn't going to win. I was going to win this. And I went out there, and the first like 45, 50 minutes, no problem, because I'm just like jumping around playing in the waves. But, you know, it's a lot of energy to be jumping around the waves. And I started kind of get a little faded on that. And then I was like, man, am I turning purple? What's going on? This is cold.
Yeah.
But I made it through. I came out so victorious. You know that feeling of victory where you like, you know, an extreme like physical experience too.
Yeah.
And so then later that night, he sits down to get his haircut. We had a bunch of friends there. And it occurred to me, like, you know, I didn't say shave his whole head. So I just shaved this top portion here.
No way.
So he has like the fryer. The fryer cut and all this long hair. And just see, awesome. I mean, seeing the pain in his eyes at first, it did two things. One, it was satisfying. Two, it made me want to grow hair because I was like, man, he really loves his hair. Yeah. And that was actually what instigated my first hair grow to do the Hawaii hair whip.
Okay.
That I got something out of that, but it was really fun. He actually ended up shaving his head, and I think he's had short hair for a pretty long time. He's done a few grows, but That was sweet. I love how much fun you can have with your hair. You know, it's like what it's there for. You gotta have fun with it while you still have it. You don't know. It's not a guarantee.
For sure. But if you're on the regiment you are on, I mean, with the chocolate,
we can guarantee
pretty much
growth.
Guaranteed.
We can guarantee hair growth.
Dude.
Oh man,
that's quite a guarantee.
A big collab coming up on that.
What's general? I know everyone's a little different, but we say like an inch and a half a month. Is that kind of normal?
About a half an inch a month is the average person. Really comes down to your genetics, but that's pretty.
Okay, you guys would know.
Pretty tried and true.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could do something where we took someone who had like their regular hair growth, charted, and then put them on a chocolate diet and see what. Because these are the fun things to do. This is where science actually counts.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Dude, that'd be a win-win for both of us. I mean, that would give you a lot of hair growth data on your end.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay, I see. I like the seeds that are being planted. I mean, I've heard things like if you soak the bark of the cacao tree, it gets a little gelatinous. Not quite like a chia seed, but it gets a little gelatinous. And if you rub that on hair, it reverses receding hairlines and it will actually grow hair back. Though, like, a lot of the hair growing, I know, big claims, and they're from big mouthpieces too. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Who's willing to try that?
Half of these are just for the entertainment of the friends watching them rub gelatinous substances on their forehead. Nah, dude, you got to do more. No, you got to do more, man. That's not even close. You got to really slather that dome up.
You got to do like that old school gel, where you just like scoop it in there and just rub it in.
Oh, man.
So good. Yeah, I mean, I was so excited to come on the show. I mean, one, because I've just been enjoying watching your guys' ride. Like from when you first told me that you were going to be like doing this hair ties for guys thing, I think you had reached out on Facebook. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then the Shark Tank, obviously, I've showed that to so many people. Just for an example of like, this is how you do it. Like, you just have to have this kind of conviction. Like that, like hearing how like you guys were like working out and rehearsing your pitch over and over. That's a very admirable quality, conviction, commitment to a cause.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's love that word, amazing. Conviction. Love that word, conviction. That was
got the Vic in the middle, like victorious. Victorious.
Yeah.
Victus.
Invictus, dude. Love it, man. Love it. He's a word guy.
I'm a word nerd.
Some well-written copy on your website, man. Don't think it goes unnoticed.
Thank you. It's always getting better. I realize that I've got a bunch of content that I just off the cuff write here and there that I think is just going to start incorporating its way into our newsletters. And
nice.
I could riff on chocolate and all the botanicals. Every botanical has some creation story about how it got there, and then uses and then funny stuff. It's good. Go for it.
Speaking of email, we linked you up with El Ivano. I think you guys are gonna talk or something. But have you had a video call? Have you seen his hair?
It's in the awkward phase.
It's so awkward, dude. He's going full in.
I think he's going full on. Errol Flynn and I actually have the same birthday. He's a little older than me.
Who?
In Like Flynn comes from Errol Flynn, the famous swashbuckler who's got amazing hair. Amazing hair.
See? Destiny. Would have never figured that out.
Hey, something I noticed on your website that, and you're so knowledgeable and everything about your product and all the different uses and stuff. I mean, you got to get a blog going, man.
Yeah, I think that's where all these writings and things. Yeah, I don't know why I never did it or haven't. Not never, because never is a very long time. I have not yet, because I love writing. I think it's just the wearing too many hats.
Yeah, sure. Gotcha.
So we're working on outsourcing our production back to the guy who we had the challenges with, but he's upped his game, and he's a longtime friend.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna move towards him making the chocolate again. And then I've got the social media ad guys.
Nice.
They're about to start.
Yeah.
And then maybe moving to the what'd you call him? Evanito?
Levanto.
Elevanto.
It's his
I
birthday
love that.
today. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Evan.
yeah, that's right. He's on a little trip. I love
We
that.
appreciate all
He's
your
on an
emails that
adventure.
you're sending on behalf of the Longhairs. What a guy.
He's a big email guy.
Big email guy, growing his hair out. It's just looking spectacular.
Yeah.
We're with him 150%.
Totes, I love that. He had nothing but awesome things to say about you guys.
Oh,
He's a
good
damn liar.
little son of a bitch. Better said some good things.
He said you were paying him to say that, among other things.
I don't doubt it one bit.
I've got I realized I went down today, but I did want to show you I'm sporting
nice.
the lighter colors today.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
I've noticed, and I wonder if your listeners feel this as well, that the closer to the front, the bun, like when you do a top, not a top knot. Oh man, you guys have such great terminology for all these. When you have like the man bun, but like with the closer you move it to the front, the funnier everything gets.
Oh yeah.
It's like a silly dial. Like shit gets really funny the closer you get forward.
Yep.
That's a good point, man. That's so funny.
Useful for sleeping though.
Yeah.
Function over fashion in this sense.
You know, I gotta just bring up Evan one more time. I'm just cracking up over here thinking about this. When we first signed on with Evan, right? He had the best deal in history with us. He was getting a percentage of all of our email sales, which our email, like at the time, like our email we knew was super important, and we were making pretty good money on email. This is a testament to Evan. Once we switched over to him, like we started sending a lot more emails and dialing in all our segments and everything. But like our email list revenue was
like
just
100%
exploding.
Increase,
yeah,
more.
like 65% of all our revenue is coming from our email. And we're like, dude, I'm sorry, but we're not giving you 15% of all of our email sales. Like, bro, you're making like triple the amount of money as us, like that we take home every month. Like, there's just no way.
He was stoked for as long as it lasted.
Oh, dude, he was so stoked.
It's like, yeah, man, email revenue is going up. How about doing a coupon, dude? We should do some really fat deals. Yeah, man, more emails.
It's just so funny to think back to that like we even had that deal with him.
It's so funny how we learn these things, right?
Yeah.
Where like at some point, and I know this like with the social media ad spend guys and like email guys, they know what they can do. And we only know like what we've seen and what we've heard. Right. And you're like, yeah, 10%. Sure. Yeah, that sounds great.
Reasonable.
And then you're like, whoa, wait a second. It's true. It's true. They end up making more take home than all of the
like time out.
Yeah.
Let's reevaluate what's going on.
Yeah.
Can I want to tell an awesome story from El Rubio.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Can I remember? I'm going to tell you one of my earliest memories.
Okay.
This is a badass story.
Let's hear it. Can't wait.
So El Rubio and myself were on the Fremont High School wrestling team.
Yep.
And I remember the very first, like my first tournament, like the first time I ever went, and I hadn't had any wrestling experience whatsoever. And everyone kind of goes to that with a different level of confidence. Yep. And I had probably at that point, maybe like 8 or 9 years of martial arts under my belt. So I felt like I could hold myself.
Yeah.
But not wrestling. This is like Taekwondo, Kung Fu, totally different realm. So I had a certain element of confidence. I got in the ring and I just got laid out. The guy had way more experience than me. It was just one of those seminal experiences. And then the next round was you, right? So I'm just kind of like shaking my body off, like wallowing in defeat a little bit.
This is at practice.
No. This is at a tournament.
But we're wrestling against each other?
No. You had some other guy, some poor soul was going.
Oh, my match was after your match.
Exactly. Your match was after my match.
Yeah.
And,
got it.
I don't know if you remember this, but in like 10, 20 seconds, you did this thing called a double grapevine, right? Where you wrapped both of his legs with your legs and both of his arms with your arms and just stretched them out. And I saw it and I was like, holy shit, look at it was so boss. I was like,
Wait, banana
Christopher
split.
Healy.
A banana split.
Maybe that's a banana split. You fucked them up so good.
Yeah, yeah. And you spread their legs apart horrifically.
I was like, I didn't know that you could do that. No one showed me that move. I was like, who's this guy? Who's this guy with these tricks up his sleeve?
That's
funny.
great.
It used to be that was the story that I thought of. Now I think more about hair ties for guys, but
dude, I would take that for the rest of my life. The wrestling story that brings back just great memories and a lot of life lessons that happened in that time frame. So love it, man.
Indeed.
Well, dude, we are pumped to try some Yes Cacao.
Yes.
Can you please tell us finally, how can we try it and how can our audience find you and connect with you and check out this botanical chocolate?
Get on the program.
You know what? I'm so glad that you asked that. It's really easy, and I hadn't thought of this before, but I'm like, why don't we offer a discount code to you and your audience?
All right.
Obviously, I'm going to send you guys some chocolate, and you guys can maybe put a little thing up there. We'll do like a strong hair 20.
Okay.
Dude, we gotta get the whole scientific thing going.
Strong hair 20.
Strong hair 20. We'll do 20% off your first purchase.
Great.
Actually,
excellent.
To be really, when you sign up for the newsletter, you get 20% off. But you don't have to use that one. You can use that one, but you could always use that code, and you could use strong hair for your first, if you want.
Nice.
We're flexible. As long as you're eating as much chocolate as you can handle, we're down.
As you can palpitate.
Beautiful, dude. Thank you.
Feel it.
We'll publish the coupon on the blog post that we have associate where we link up the show here. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or whatever other app, you can come back to the blog where we'll have the show notes, etc. We'll publish the coupon and we'll link up your site. It's yescacao.com. And your Instagram is?
Yes, Cacao. YESCACAO. It's a funny one to say on the phone sometimes, but yeah, just think of it like yes, like the affirmative word, the one that feels really good.
Yes.
And then
yes.
CACA, like California. Oh,
that is a great little mnemonic device. I'll never forget again, or have to even look.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, we're pumped. We're stoked on your business, and it's great to reconnect. It's great to see the magnificent chocolate flow.
Yeah, the curls are just killing it, brother.
And wishing you luck, man. It's really awesome to reconnect with someone from the past who is on a very similar journey. And, there's a lot that we're all going through that can only be experienced in the type of business that we're in. So, dude, thanks for joining. Thanks for being on the show.
It's such a pleasure to connect and to be on the ride. Really.
Hell yeah,
I know
man.
I'll be staying tuned. You guys will be staying tuned. And I think we're all just getting started.
For sure.
Just the beginning. Just the beginning.
All right, man.
All right.
Till next time. See you.